Have you ever wondered where the next global pandemic might come from? We often think of far-off, exotic locations, but the answer might be much closer to home, hidden in plain sight within our modern food system. What if I told you that the way we raise animals for food is creating a perfect storm for new, dangerous diseases to emerge and spread across the globe? This isn't a distant threat, it's a ticking time bomb. The story begins with something called zoonotic diseases. These are illnesses that can jump from animals to humans, and they're responsible for some of the most devastating pandemics in history. Think about swine flu or bird flu. These names aren't just random, they point directly to the animal origins of these viruses. And the place where these viruses can mutate, strengthen, and prepare to make the leap to humans is often within the crowded, stressful confines of a factory farm. To understand this risk, we need to look inside these facilities. Factory farms, or intensive animal confinement operations, are designed for maximum efficiency and profit. This means housing thousands, sometimes even tens of thousands, of animals in incredibly tight spaces. Picture vast, windowless sheds, filled from wall to wall with chickens, pigs, or other animals, often with barely enough room to turn around. In these conditions, the animals are living under immense and constant stress. This stress weakens their immune systems, making them far more susceptible to getting sick. When one animal gets ill, the disease can spread like wildfire. In such a crowded environment, it's virtually impossible to isolate sick individuals, and the virus can sweep through the entire population within days. This is a recipe for disaster. You have a massive number of hosts, all with compromised immune systems, all living in close contact. It's the perfect breeding ground for a pathogen. But it gets even more concerning. With so many animals getting sick, a virus has countless opportunities to replicate. Every time a virus replicates, there's a small chance of a mutation, a tiny change in its genetic code. Most of these mutations are harmless. But every so often, a mutation occurs that makes the virus more transmissible, more severe, or even capable of infecting a new species, like humans. This is essentially a high-speed lottery for the virus. The more animals it infects, the more tickets it has to win the mutation jackpot. Factory farms hand viruses millions and millions of tickets, day after day. Let's consider the avian flu, or H5N1. In the wild, birds can carry flu viruses, but they are usually dispersed over large areas. This natural distance limits the spread and the chances for dangerous mutations. Now, contrast that with a modern poultry farm, where tens of thousands of chickens are packed into a single shed. They are often living in their own waste, breathing air thick with ammonia and dust. If a single bird becomes infected with a mild flu strain, the virus doesn't just infect a few others. It can rapidly infect the entire flock. With each new chicken it infects, the virus multiplies billions of times. This massive amplification creates a huge opportunity for the virus to evolve. It might mutate to become more deadly to the birds themselves, leading to massive die-offs. Or, it could mutate in a way that allows it to attach to human respiratory cells. This is the moment a potential pandemic is born. The same principle applies to swine flu. Pigs are particularly interesting from a virological standpoint because their bodies are like mixing vessels for viruses. Pigs can be infected with both avian flu viruses, from birds, and human flu viruses. If a pig gets infected with both at the same time, the genetic material from the two different viruses can mix and match inside the pig's cells. This process, called reassortment, can create a brand new, hybrid virus. This new virus might have the transmissibility of a human flu and the novelty of an avian flu, meaning our immune systems have no pre-existing defense against it. This is precisely what happened with the 2009 H1N1 swine flu pandemic. It was a novel virus containing genetic segments from pig, bird, and human flu viruses that emerged from intensive pig farming operations. The immense scale of factory farming creates a constant, systemic pressure for these viruses to emerge. We are essentially running a global experiment in real time, encouraging pathogens to become more dangerous. Another major factor is the routine use of antibiotics. In these crowded and unsanitary conditions, it's common practice to give animals low, continuous doses of antibiotics, not to treat sickness, but to prevent it and promote faster growth. This widespread, non-therapeutic use of antibiotics is a primary driver of antibiotic resistance. Bacteria evolved to survive the drugs, creating superbugs that are resistant to our most important medicines. While this is a separate crisis, it's deeply interconnected with the pandemic threat. A future pandemic could be made infinitely worse if it is accompanied by secondary bacterial infections that we can no longer treat with antibiotics. Imagine a world where a new virus sweeps the globe, and the common bacterial pneumonia that often follows a severe flu infection becomes untreatable. The consequences would be catastrophic. Public health security isn't just about developing vaccines and stockpiling masks. It's about addressing the root causes of disease emergence. It requires us to look at the systems we've built and ask if they are making us safer or putting us in greater danger. The evidence strongly suggests that intensive animal agriculture is a major, and perhaps the primary, pandemic risk factor in our modern world. It is a system that prioritizes short-term profit over long-term public health. We have created an environment where it is not a matter of if another pandemic will emerge from this system, but when. The viruses are constantly knocking on the door, and factory farms are giving them the key. This isn't about pointing fingers or assigning blame. It's about recognizing a fundamental vulnerability in our global infrastructure. It's a serious security threat that requires a serious and honest conversation. We need to reconsider our relationship with the food we eat and the systems that produce it. Are there better, safer, and more humane ways to exist? The solutions involve rethinking agriculture to prioritize animal welfare, public health, and environmental sustainability. This means moving away from intensive confinement and towards systems that give animals more space, cleaner conditions, and a less stressful life. By reducing crowding, we reduce the speed and scale of disease transmission. By improving sanitation and welfare, we bolster the animals' natural immune systems, making them less reliant on antibiotics and less susceptible to infection. This change is not only crucial for preventing the next pandemic but also for creating a more resilient and ethical food system for the future. We have a choice to make. We can continue down the current path, accepting the ever-present risk of a new and devastating disease emerging from these industrial facilities. Or, we can choose to change course. We can advocate for policies that support a transition away from factory farming. We can make conscious choices as consumers to support more sustainable and compassionate alternatives. The power to defuse this ticking time bomb lies with us. It starts with understanding the connection between the shed and the hospital ward, between animal suffering and human health. The health of animals, humans, and the planet are all inextricably linked. Ignoring the profound risks posed by factory farming is a gamble we cannot afford to take. The stakes are simply too high. Thank you for watching. If you found this information important and want to learn more about creating a kinder and safer world, please subscribe to our channel, Be Kind Fair.